بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Siti, Aisyah, Sabrina.
My name is Rania, Nabiha. It's no Niswah, Aniqah.
Wan Nur Fatini. In this video, we are going to discuss about the contribution of
Abbasid era in the development
of Islamic law. Basically, the Abbasid dynasty was founded by Caliph Abu Abbas, and therefore it can be said that the dynasty was named after his name. Caliph Abu Abbas was also known as the Bloodshedder due to his merciless tactics during war, and as well as to instill fear among his enemies. The Abbasid Caliph was formed after the Umayyad Caliph was being overthrown during the Abbasid revolution, and therefore making them later make Baghdad as their capital city for the administration.
Abbasid era started at 750 and ended at 950 of Common Era. This caliph actively supported the Islamic scholarship, discussion and debate on some various issues. During this era, it established the importance of faith. Faith can be divided into two sections. Do you know what the two sections are? The first section is the fundamental principle, which is also known as usul, and the second principle of scientific, philosophical and theological works are also known as furu'.
It also writes importance to the sciences of Al-Quran, which refers to Ulum Al-Quran, and the sciences of Hadith, which refers to Ulum Al-Hadith, because the respective scholars establish their own principles and disciplines regarding this matter.
There are 6 contributions of Abbasid era in development of Islamic law. The first one is the government support towards the faith development. The second one is the emergence of competent mujtahidun. The third one is expansion of Islamic empire. The fourth one is the compilation of Sunnah. The fifth one is the compilation of fiqh. And the last one is the emergence of different scholars.
Fatini, can you explain to me what does it mean by government support towards fiqh development?
Okay, let me tell you. So, the first contribution of the Abbasid era is government supports towards faith development. So, the support provides for encouragement, they assisted the scholars, and also they consulted them in making decisions. So there is a lot of examples that we can see. So one of the examples is that Caliph Al-Mansur consulted Imam Malik about allowing him to make his famous compilation of the Sunnah called the Al-Muwatta as the state constitution. So another example that we can see is Caliph Al-Ma'mun, who was also reported to actively support the scholars by attending their circle and embarking on serious discussions and debate with the scholars. So the last example that we can observe is regarding Caliph Harun al-Rashid, who made a request to Imam Abu Yusuf to draft the law related to the administration of the land, and the Imam wrote his famous book called Kitab al-Kharaj, which was made the reference for the state. So another thing, the Caliph also appointed Imam Abu Yusuf to the post of chief judge.
What is the meaning of mujtahidun? A mujtahidun is a person accepted as original author in Islamic law. Oh, do you know that emergence of competent mujtahidun and spread of debate and discussion is one of the contribution of Abbasid era to Sharia law? Oh, really? Yes. Okay, let me explain to you.
Okay, so for the second contribution of Abbasid era, it is the emergence of competent mujtahidun and the spread of debate and discussion. It is during this period that many prominent mujtahidun emerged and developed the different sciences of Islam. can also be known as the four most well-known Imam, which are Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad Hanbal, and Imam Hanafi. These prominent scholars created the environment of discussion and academic debate, which significantly contribute in the development of faith. They would exchange views and thoughts on various Islamic issues which they encountered in their particular areas. They would try to debate and set issues until a common conclusion was reached or various options were accepted. This discussion or debate can also be made through mail. For example, the debate between Imam Malik and also Imam al-Lahi. The example of discussion is the discussion of drinking wine. In Imam Abu Hanifah's ruling, he stated that intoxicating drinks made from other sources were allowable as long as the consumer did not become drunk. However, Abu Hanifah's three main students, Abu Yusuf, Muhammad ibn al-Hasan, and Zufar, later rejected the ruling of their teacher since they found an authentic hadith of Prophet indicating clearly that all intoxicants were to be included in the meaning of wine. So basically in this hadith, Allah's apostle said that all intoxicants or alcoholic drinks are prohibited.
Tini, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Is there any contribution of Abbasid era that expands the Islamic empire towards the world?
Yeah, that is one of the contribution of the Abbasid era. Okay, let me explain to you.
Okay.
The third contribution of the Abbasid era is the expansion of Islamic empire. So in this video, I'm going to refer it as IE. So the Islamic empire has expanded all over the world, including Persia, India, and also to southern Russia. However, the capital of the Islamic empire during this period is Baghdad. So due to the expansion of Islamic empire to all over the world, it also contributes to the establishment of the learning centers. So, at the learning centers, there are a lot of students and also teachers who come there to further their knowledge. They travel from one place to another. So, we can see various examples of the people who travel just to seek for knowledge. So, one of the example is Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani, who traveled from Iraq to Medina. So why did he travel from Iraq to Medina? He wanted to learn from Imam al-Malik, and he also memorized the kitab of Imam al-Malik called Al-Muwatta. So another example that we can see is the famous Imam al-Shafi'i. So Imam al-Shafi'i traveled from Hijaz to Iraq and then to Egypt. Okay, so what is the result from this journey? It results to major differences of the opinions that he learned. And later, he established his own mazhab called Mazhab Shafi'i that we use until today in our country.
When did the congregation of Sunnah begin?
This actually started during the Abbasid era, and it's actually one of the contribution of that particular dynasty as well.
Oh, okay. Can you explain to me?
Yeah, sure.
Now we will move on to the fourth contribution of the Abbasid dynasty, which is the compilation of Sunnah.
Basically, most of the Sunnah of Prophet ﷺ was compiled and classified during this period. This effort has contributed significantly in reducing the burden of proving the authenticity of a particular hadith among the fuqaha in order to deduce the ruling of fiqh. The Sunnah was written down during the time of Prophet ﷺ. It was further recorded and narrated throughout the period of the companions and later staged the development of fiqh. However, there was no serious attempt was taken to compile them due to the fact that the narrations were widespread. Now, moving on to the Abbasid period, where there were some scholars who took further steps to compile the Sunnah, and the compilation of Sunnah begins with the collection that combines saying of Prophet ﷺ and the views of the scholar. In the same period, there were no indication pointing out to the fact that who among them started the effort to compile the Sunnah. During the end of the 2nd century of Hijrah, the codification of Sunnah took another positive steps in its development. This time, the Sunnah was compiled and listed according to the narrators of the particular hadith. One of the compilation of who is Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, who compiled many traditions of the Prophet in his famous compilation named Musnad Imam Ahmad, and this type of compilation is called Musnad. Later on, the 3rd century of Hijrah, the compilation of Sunnah is now based on different topic of fiqh. All the 6 authentic collection of hadith follow this method of compilation, which include Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sunan An-Nasai, Sunan of Abu Dawud, Al-Jami of At-Tirmizi, and Sunan Ibn Majah.
Niswah, can you know that Abbasid era they compiles the faith and it contributes to Sharia law? Oh really? Can you mind sharing with me? No, I don't mind. Let's go.
So for the 5th contribution of Abbasid era is the compilation of fiqh. During this time, the scholars of different areas of Islamic empire started collecting and compiling the views of earlier scholars. So for example, the compilation of Imam Malik in his Muwatta. And the second example can be seen through the scholars of Iraq compiling the legal views of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Ali bin Abi Talib, Surai, and others. It should be noted that the early books of faith were usually a mixture of legal rulings, hadith, opinions of companion of the Prophet, and of successors of the companions. In addition to the compilation of faith, the science of deducing and rulings from their sources, or known as usul fiqh, was also compiled during this
Do
period.
you know any relationship between the 4 different mazhab and the Abbasid era?
Yes, it is one of the contribution of the Abbasid era. Let me explain.
Yeah, sure.
Lastly, the contributions of Abbasid era in Islamic law development is the emergence of different schools of Islamic law. There are 4 well-known mazhab of Islamic law that were established during the Abbasid era, which are Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali. Besides, there were also other schools of Islamic law that also founded during the Abbasid era, such as Ibn Abi Layla, Abu Thawr, and Al-Awza'i. However, most of them disappeared. This is because lack of effort in spreading and codifying the views by the founder themselves.
صدق الله العظيم.